Let's see if this will work out. I don't know. Let's get the chat up. I don't think we told anybody we were going live, but
no, definitely not.
We'll wait around for a few people to get on. I think my phone is actually dead, which is crazy. No worries. For a few people. It is Saturday night, so oh, here's some people coming on.
We got 2 people on. 6
people on.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How's the connection? We just thought we would try this one more time. Driving home. Hello, Craig. Hello. Mitty looks good, real good. All right. That's what I wanted to hear, that the connection looks good and everything. Looking good. All right. That's what I wanted to hear.
Craig says very clear. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Well, we've got 35 people on here. I want to say a huge hello. I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we're Van Life Sheldon's Travels. Sheldon, he's our little yellow belly slider turtle that he's lived with us in this little van for most of his life, traveling around the United States with all of us. So
it's probably somebody in the house.
In the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Postmates just arrived.
For some dinner.
We have a lot of people here on the property. I guess we'll actually start with that since that was pretty funny.
We actually have Destination Open Road here, as you know. We also the Graham Crackers showed up today, and a few other people. So
Dory, if
Dory,
knows.
if you know,
I don't think she has her own channel.
I don't think she has a YouTube channel, but there's a few of us here on the property. All of us are doing work on our rigs, so we're all really super busy, kind of just doing our own thing and making trips back and forth to the store, and that's pretty much all we've been up to the last couple of days.
Should I go shout out them and say there's some Postmates?
Yeah, I think he rang the doorbell. Oh, they got it.
Okay, I just feel bad.
Since there are more people in the property, when someone comes for delivery, if it's the FedEx guy or the mail guy or the UPS or pizza delivery or the Postmates,
or there's an Airbnb here, so there's always people in and out for the Airbnb. So it's pretty fun. It's exciting place to be.
It is. So, but we want to wait for a bunch of you to get on. There's 52 of you. We did a lot of progress yesterday on the van.
Yes.
The kitchen is pretty much done, except for hooking up the water lines, the electricity. There's no electricity ran yet, and no water lines ran yet. But I did cut the hole for the sink. Got the sink in, got the faucet in.
As you can see, this is the new
countertops. And I guess I could spin you down a little bit, and you can see.
So the countertop is in, and then the oven is cut in. So that's a nice cut. We actually think we're going to cut it back like a third.
Tomorrow I'm going to cut it back 1/4 of an inch more, just so that the front here flushes up. So when I put the trim on, it'll look just perfect. So, but that, that's just the little things. I'd rather cut not enough and we fit it in and see what it looks like. I can always take a little bit away, but I can never put it back on once you've cut it away.
Somebody did ask what was the bad news. You want to go ahead and recap on that?
Yeah, I guess on the last live stream we had that we did cut short, the bad news, unfortunately, that we have to announce, there are 2 things. Number 1 is that the other van that we were going to build out, that the Patreon purchased a lot of items for, unfortunately, we are not going to be doing that build. She stopped by and I gave her the 3 batteries and the sink and all of the other parts and components and stuff that we ordered for her. I think it was somewhere around $1,500 or something that the Patreon purchased, and parts and stuff. I would have really liked to install that all, but it's just not in the cards. The Patreon decided that she really just didn't want to spend the about another $1,500 to build that out. So
Right.
I'm I don't have the money to build that out. We're
Right.
going to be finishing this build out without
Yes.
any problems. And I'm just thankful for that.
Right.
I know she was very thankful for all of the items that she got.
Yeah.
And it is, she'll have a 400-watt solar setup with 3 VMAX batteries, charge controller,
Yes.
the wiring and everything,
And
a
she's gonna get
sink.
somebody to do
And
that.
she's going to get someone to hook all that up. And it's kind of sad that I'm not going to get to do that.
But it's also a relief because that is a lot of hard
It is
work.
a lot of work and
thank you
stuff.
so much, T.
Appreciate
So
the
glad you're
$5
live
super
again.
chat.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
I really like doing these lives when we're building out. So that is unfortunate. And I guess the
My
second
name
thing
is Tony. All right.
is that we will not be at Descend on Bend.
Right.
And that's just the way the cards fall.
Yeah.
So we won't be at Descend on Bend this
Yes,
year.
we plan to be on Descend on Bend, but the plans have changed. So after this build, the only plans that we have are Terry and Scott's meetup, and I just seen that someone said T said you weren't Tony, you said you weren't going to be able to make it. So
we want to kind of talk about that a little bit. You'll know tonight is Saturday night. You will know by Monday who we will be here at the Destination Open
Yes.
Road party here. And if you need more information on that, please go over to Destination Open Road's channel.
Yes.
And they have a whole live stream where we
destination@gmail.com.
Well, that's already over. So
okay.
that ended yesterday. So
Okay.
if you just want more information, we had a really great live stream. We were on there, and Aja was on there, and Scott and Terry, and we really explained what you need to do if you want to come to the party. I think the registration for camping is over, but you're still accepting invitations for people to come and hang out during the day as long as you're
Yes.
not going to spend the night.
Right.
So we're looking forward to meeting a whole bunch of people during that meetup here on the property. We planning on staying here until the van is done and the remodel is
Yes.
done with our van, except for the solar. We're not going to put the top of the solar on
Right.
here, but the rest of the remodel will be done here at Destination Open Roads and finishing it up. If we have a little bit of time before the meetup, we might take a little venture over to Seattle, maybe call up one of our friends, Static Camper Van, and have coffee with him
Yeah.
on a morning if he's available, or
Yes.
go see two of our friends, Bree and Donnie, that live just a little
Right.
bit north of
The
Seattle.
last time we went to Seattle is really known for their coffee. So just about every other building is a coffee shop, and we went to the cutest coffee shop. I think it was called C&P
Yep.
Coffee Company, and Static brought us there, and it was the cutest. It's got coffee and wine. It used to be an old house, so you get the homey kind of feel, and they had a nice garden in the back, and it was very
And you can go back about a year
Homey.
ago and see those videos if you haven't
Yeah.
watched those. We met up with Static and had a great day. So
Yes.
you could actually probably put in Google Static Camper Van, Van Life Sheldon's Travels, Seattle Meetup, and it'd probably just pop right up.
Yeah.
But sad news.
But we
But the great news is that we're still building out this rig,
yes.
and we will be at the Destination Open Road meetup. So
Right.
it's kind of sad news, but then we do have a silver lining on top of it all. So for everyone that was planning on being at Descend on Ben, I'm really, really sorry we're not going to be there. I really wanted to be there, but at $200, it's just not in our price point. And the Patreon that was going to pay for that has decided they're not actually going to Descend on Ben, and they wanted us to be there with them. So that's just kind of how it goes, and I don't mind that at all. We take things as they go, and we understand plans change and things happen, and we're just very thankful to have this remodel and to have everything that we're doing here now. It means a lot.
We're getting comments that this is the best live, so I'm good this live is going good because we're actually inside the van, which is usually where we don't get any service,
right?
But we did want to show you around and show you the progress that we made,
right? Because we did make some progress here in the van. All right. And I want to apologize for not making a video. I have a video started that kind of walks through the build, and I really want to make that into a nice video. I don't want to rush it.
Right.
And after working and designing on the van all day, I really don't want to edit video at midnight,
and nothing is really completed. Like, we have the counters in, but we still want to put that.
I don't have the side trim pieces on, so
and the bed is in, but it's not actually finished.
Oh no. Sorry,
the gimbal kind of went out on you guys. Sorry, Mike's trying to fix the gimbal.
All right, I'm really sorry. We're using our DJI gimbal.
It's not
Osmos gimbal there, and it just kind of fell over.
Yeah, sorry, earthquake.
Earthquake, yeah. Sorry, guys. But
we're using my phone, so it's a little bit bigger, so maybe it's not balancing right.
It's not used to the big cell phone on there, and we kind of had the power pack built into it too. So, we did a lot of work yesterday as far as cutting the countertop and getting the sink mounted, but like Steph was saying, the side pieces aren't glued in, ironed on. The sink isn't, I haven't siliconed it in, and all the little touches, and all the trim work's not on, and all the paint's not done. Right. Of course, the backsplash. So when I'm making this video, I'm kind of just taking little clips and talking through the process. Definitely. And I'll be making a video at the end of all of the process put together in a one video, so that the people that don't want to watch the live streams will be able to see something and how this was kind of built. But for everyone that does want to see all of the extra little things and how I thought this out and why I did this and why we did that. Hi, girl. And puppy just walked up to the van. But those are what the live streams are for. And we're going to try to go live tomorrow on Steph's phone. So if you're seeing this now and it's a good stream, that is really promising, and we'll use her AT&T phone. We do have all three services, and we want to thank one of our Patreons, Craig and Sandra, for allowing us to have AT&T service. They've been paying the phone for the last about a year now, and
that's been awesome.
And we really, really, really appreciate that. It's made a big difference.
I hope you go live during the electrical work.
Well, that's what I wanted to do, and that's why I was running this test today. Because when I do the electrical work, I really want my head right, and I don't want to be frustrated with the live stream. I need to really focus on the electrical, and that's why we're testing it now. So I'm hoping to use the AT&T service and that will give us this live ability here. We've tried T-Mobile and Verizon. The only one we didn't try was Steph's phone. So I thought last night, let's try that today, because I really wanted to get a video up for you to give you an update. I felt really bad about putting out the sad news and then not being able to make a video the next morning. I just didn't have time to just make a quality video and going live. I can just tell you what I need to tell you and explain a few things and get you back into what's happening here. And day 7 yesterday went great. I'm going to spin you around in a few minutes and show you the countertop and the sink and everything. It looks really nice. And we've got another spot. We got another piece that's going to be cut for over here that I cut and trim work. And that's why I haven't put out a real video, like I was saying. I just don't want to put out a halfway video where the lives have kind of been showing the process and what we've been doing. And I appreciate all the feedback from everyone, the good feedback and the bad feedback, because I don't want to spend all day trying to get it to work. So, but we are pushing forward. We're still super excited about this build. It's
Tony
really
asked, what kind of dash cam should I get? Well, the Patreon who did this remodel actually sent us a dash cam. But because we've kind of been stationary doing the remodel, we haven't actually got to test it out. So we will get to you on that question later. And we'll test this one out for you and see how we like this one. Otherwise, that's our first dash cam, because otherwise we use the Osmos Pocket, which is perfect because it's 4K and it's small, so you can put it anywhere on your dash. And it's better than using your phone because, you know, we're trying to get away from that.
Trying to get away from our phone, except when we're doing live streams. You almost have to use a phone or a computer to go live, and that's when we use our phones. And that's the difference in the quality of the video, everyone, is that using your phone versus using a quality camera. And now, like she said, we do have that dash cam, and we will be trying it out and using it.
We got a lot of nice gifts that we'll probably do review videos on at a later date, just because we kind of are focused on this remodel, which I'm sure everyone understands.
And I really like to do reviews after I've had stuff for a while. I know a lot of people do reviews immediately when they get the stuff and it's all of that. But that to me is kind of different, because I want to know what you think about it, or what on the other side, what you want to know what I think about it after I've used it for a month or 2 months. Because something that works great the first couple of days might go to trash in 2 months.
Like our Osmosis Pocket. I'm sorry, I can't
the
seem to say.
Osmos Pocket,
when we first got that, it worked flawlessly. It was beautiful. We loved it. And then we did an upgrade on it, and they didn't tell you that tell you during the update that you're gonna have to get a new SD. So then it was like SD card error, and it was like we had to figure that out on our own. Like, oh, okay. So then we went online, and then it was like, oh, you need a new SD card, and you need the faster ones, and it was like a totally different kind and things like that. So that was
a learning curve,
and that almost really deterred us from the Osmos Pocket. But now that we got the SD card, it's a little bit better. So we fixed that situation, and we like it. But like Mike was saying, that's why we do like to use what we
buy. Because the only thing that we've actually, and all of this stuff that we got from a company, was our Jackery. And I did make a review of the Jackery, and I can say that I have used it, and I do like it. I mean, I haven't gotten paid for that, but I did get the thing for free. And if you're in an RV
and you're going to be going to campgrounds, it's really nice because now you got that shore power where you could charge it. Because if you're boondocking it's really hard to depend on it because it takes forever to charge.
But we do depend on little power banks like this. That's what I had plugged up to the phone.
Even this little guy,
takes all day to charge.
Well, it really takes like 2 days to charge, but once it's charged for 2 days, it'll hold a charge for about a week. So it's awesome, but it takes forever to charge.
What would you say, like 3 or 4 times we can charge our phone? At least 5 or 6 times, 7, 8 times we can charge our phones. Like I charge all kinds of stuff off of that for a week, and it never goes dead. So.
It does seem to have this safety cutoff. It seems to like charge my phone up to like 30%, and then it cuts off. It's not because the battery's dead. Like right now, it's off, and if I turn it back on, it'll probably jump back on, and it'll be fine. But it has this safety cutoff.
We've had this since we were in college, so I mean, it was nothing that we purchased. Yeah,
I don't know. You see the blue lights.
Had that since we were living in our Kia Soul. So, but we really just wanted to give everyone an update on what was going on. I guess we should really show you around the van.
Yeah.
I think that's the most exciting thing. Now that we got the sad news out of the way, we're pushing forward. We
feel like
no worries, you know.
Hopefully everybody's caught up on the live stream. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us, and we'll try to get you caught up as much as we can.
Right.
And
but I'll let you flip the camera around. I'll grab this out of the way. I think you do a great job of showing what's going on.
So I'm going to flip you guys around.
And just remember, this is still a work in progress.
Uh-oh. Why can't they see nothing?
All right, there we are. And, it's in the... hold on. Hold on, guys.
Okay,
earthquake.
When we flip you around, the gimbal is blocking the camera. That's why flipping you around, you just see black. So we're going to have to take you out of the gimbal, which means it's about to get really
shaky, guys. Sorry. But there it goes.
Okay. So now I got you.
You want to put it in there so it's nice and smooth?
I'll just hold them for a second.
All right.
I won't take that long. All right. So let's see if I can back up so you can really see it. I'm not trying to lose the live stream. So we got this nice faucet right here. This is our sink. Mike, you're gonna have to be Vanna White.
Kind of works. Very nice. The sink has a built-in cutting board.
Yes, which Mike loves this cutting board. I feel like it don't match, so I tell him I want to paint it or put a countertop piece in there.
And it also comes with a strainer. And if you kind of want to come on in here, they can see inside of here, see how deep it is. And that there's a rack in here and another little strainer bucket to hold all the stuff. So that's really cute.
Minnie Mouse says, we have that faucet. How long have you had this faucet, and has it leaked on you yet? Because that seems to be the problem with these types of faucets, is they end up leaking. So does it leak after a while? Nice sink. Yes, this is an RV sink. It's 15 inch by 15. It's a really nice deep sink. I really like the drain, so that's really good.
It's kind of expensive. It's a $300. The sink alone was $300, and I think this was $100. So for the two was $400. So it is a little bit on the high end side, but that's what we were going for.
Oh man,
a little bit nicer appeal.
Mitty said yes, it started to leak by the valve. I appreciate your honesty, because no matter how nice they look, they can't seem to get rid of that problem. Okay, so moving on to the oven.
So we cut in the oven, and of course we had the framework here, as you can see from another live stream, that all the framing was done. And then I cut out the back, the countertop, and I cut in a spot for the oven. And of course I had to cut in a spot for the sink, and we notched it in the back here. And we're going to be doing a little cabinet right above the stove, a small one, very, very small. And then all of this is going to be in some type of peel and stick tile. And I think that'll look really nice. Kind of bring it and pop it. This is all going to be replaced too, the carpet. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do here and here, but all of this is going to be replaced too. We are going to be going live to show you all of the electrical hookups. I'm going to be wiring in the security cameras, the security monitor. You'll also see me replace the security monitor. We're also going to wire up the water pump and the lighting. And that's all going to be done over here on the fuse panel, along with hooking up a 300-watt pure sine wave inverter and the hookup of the 4 VMAX 125 amp hour AGM batteries that we have here.
I'm going to try to take you around the other side, see if you guys can see a little bit better from over here. Thank you.
Get this out of your way.
There we go. So now you can kind of see in a different view. So we do got the kitchen drawer in there. That'll slide out. We got a nice little wooden utensil organizer for underneath there. So that's nice.
And just remember, I'm going to put the little plates on the ends. I have all of that. And so that's not done.
Yeah, Mike's saying we're going to finish the ends of the counter. We did get those.
This is going to be painted.
They say
we are going to put some trimming in here, some nice trim, some wooden sunflowers, and
somebody asked, does the bed work? The bed, we're having a problem with like the front. When we sit on it, it seems to bow. So we're going to get some angle irons and see if that fixes that. So we're working through a couple of kinks.
See, the problem is with the bed.
Yeah, somebody asked what state we are on. Thank you for answering that. We are in Washington.
The thing about the bed is that the bed is not only the bed, but it incorporates into this wall, which is going to have holes cut out for access. Plus, we have an LA Lagun table mount thing that's going to be mounted here. And we have to have some kind of, it has to adhere to this somehow too. So the bed incorporates into the whole build, not just into the bed, but this side and this side on supports. So everything you do revolves around the bed and the trim and how everything interacts with each other. And that's what the difference is between building out a larger space and a smaller space like this. When you get into the smaller space, I think it's 100 times harder because everything interlocks into each other because you have to minimize the space. In a bigger rig, you can make a back bed and then make a nice counter area, and none of this has to be incorporated into how the bed system works and everything. And to be able to still use the bathroom in the middle of the night, you know, all of those little things have to work, and they have to work flawlessly every time, not be a hassle. And that's why we did this rebuild, is to get away from the hassle. So we are going to get a piece of angle iron to put on top of the freezers to kind of make that supportive. We did figured out a design for the bed to finish it up, which is going to require me, see how this is not flush. I needed to go back another 1/4 of an inch. So tomorrow I'm going to have to cut this 1/4 of an inch to make this flush, so I can put a board here to keep it won't fall out, and I can rest part of the bed onto it, so as a support. So all of these little things have to be put into play. And like I was saying here, we're going to get some nice square blocks with some sunflowers for here, and then put some trim. And Scott has a air nailer, a brass air nailer. So I'll be able to do all the trim work with an air nailer, and then Steph's going to paint all of this at once. So that'll look really nice.
Yes,
and
the stove
clean.
is a Camp Chef, and the piece of wood that Mike keeps pointing at, we will be painting it.
Yes. So we're gonna put, like I said, put trim work on it and then paint it so that it'll all match and everything. But that's where we're at, and it's working. I think it looks really nice myself. But any
Yeah, I
questions?
got a lot of nice comments. Yeah, one person did ask about mail. So there are mail services that you could use, and they allow you to use a real address. And depending on how well your service is, you could even use it for your license or not. So, um, I think it's just easy if you type into Google mail services, and some of them should pop up.
South Dakota is one of the best. I would go to mail services in South Dakota. Google that, and you'll find two or three.
Yes.
And I think both of them that are up are working really well. I haven't heard any huge complaints.
Yes. Lee did say he liked the floor. Thank you, Lee. I love the floor because they're proof. Excuse me, life proof. So, with all the wood that we're bringing in and out, and then of course we get in and out with our hiking shoes. So it's weatherproof, scratch proof, pet proof,
Waterproof.
waterproof.
And one of the things that I'm still tossing around, this is waterproof. If I put a little waterproof ledge here and seal it and cut a hole right here in the floor, me and Steph might actually be able to take a shower right inside in the side of this with a shower curtain system. So I'm thinking that might be phase 2 of the project, but for now we're trying to get it all. Like I said, the plumbing's not ran yet, and the electrical's not ran yet, but most of the construction, for the most part,
Yes.
I would say is about 80% done. I do need to cut some holes. This countertop is going to go onto here, and some trim, and some more trim and trim. Of course, the cabinet up here, and all the glass work, and then trimming down here with baskets and places. So there's a lot of work left to do, but I think we're going to get the bed working tomorrow. And if we can get that fixed, then I'm going to start with the solar. And we're going to be drilling a hole in the roof and bringing the wires in and coming down to a completely different side of the van. All of the electronics were on this side before. I've shifted all of the electronics to the opposite side of the van. So I'll be running all new stuff, new wires coming in and everything. So hopefully we'll be able to do it on this phone, and you'll be able to see it live just like you are right now. And I'm going to walk you through not mounting the solar setup, but the solar system on the top, the panels, but from running the wires in to hooking up the solar panel to the charge controller to the batteries, hooking up 4 batteries together to make one big battery. I'm going to show you how to do that live. I am also going to show you how to hook up your fuse panel and your inverter, and all of that, and the electronics, how to run wire. I even bought conduit and all kinds of stuff to run the wires to the security camera. And I'm going to have one wire going to the monitor, one wire going to all 4 security cameras. They all need a wire. And then I'll be running another wire for the water pump. And then, of course, wires for both refrigerators, all to the fuse panel. And then eventually we're going to be running a whole bunch of lighting and switches and all of that. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to see all that live. And if not, for some reason, I will kind of go through the process. Yesterday, Steph really did film me cutting all this stuff out so that we'll have that to put in a video and show you exactly. And that'll be in that final video of all of the stuff. So
Yeah.
if that helps. Anything else, sweetie?
It's looking good.
I think it looks a lot better than it did. It's a lot nicer. And it'll look
Definitely
a
a
lot
work in
better
progress.
when this is all done and you don't see the reflectics. This is 7 days of building, 1 day of demolition and the floors. That was day one. And then 6 days of building. It has been more than 6 days because, of course, we have to go shopping and stuff like that.
I don't mind answering that question, but we actually have to sit down to use the restroom because we can actually not stand up in the van. And it's funny you asked that question actually because our buddy Joe, wonderful story, he's on this live stream. And he actually used our toilet one time, and we didn't mention to him that we sit to pee. And that was a fun thing he had to learn. And he's taller than Mike, and so
he's like, "There's no way you stand up and pee," and I'm like, "No, there's no way you can do that in here."
He said I was so confused, man. We laughed so hard. I'm still holding in laughter. That was so funny. I was like, how did you try to pee? And he was like, sitting on my knees. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that would make sense too, but no.
So I think it's coming along very nice. I think it's a huge upgrade. I did pull out the new security monitor. This one's a 7-inch. The new one is a 9-inch. It is a lot bigger and a lot nicer, so it'll be a lot easier to see all 4 of the cameras from right here. So we're going to keep pushing forward. Unless there's any more questions, I guess we'll get off the live. And I just wanted to give a good update and show everybody.
Yeah, sorry, Liam. I'm a little shaky. I should have got the gimbal. I was just looking at that because obviously you could see it's sent by Mike. Sorry about that. Are you guys going to install an insect net on your door for fresh air? That will be nice.
Yes, we actually
did buy one at Harbor Freight the other day, didn't we?
Yes, last week we got one at Harbor Freight. We got some like screen cloth. So I'm going to make screens for all 3 of the doors, even the back door. I think I'm going to make a screen cloth screen for instead of the tents. Although the sunshade cloth presents another problem because we actually store our pillows, I'll show you, in the inside of the door.
See, and that's how we store our bed pillows.
So if I put in screening here, before we had a tent and you could open the tent and get to the pillow. If I put just regular screening here, how am I gonna get to the 2 pillows? So those are the problems that we work through, and I think about at night, and then I show you my solution live, and it always doesn't work perfectly, guys, and we have to work through it together. But that is one of the things. I did buy screening for both of these, but how am I going to get to the pillows? So am I going to have to take these screens and have someone cut them and put in heavy duty zippers so that it has like a flap so we can get in? Or am I going to have to overlay 2 sets of screen so that we could pull them apart and get to the pillows?
And that would make Velcro.
We could use Velcro to adhere, or magnets, even earth magnets. So there's a lot of options, and I'm playing around with all of them.
Yes.
To see which way is the best, and those are all those little things that you have to work through, and I'm trying to make these videos so that you don't make the same mistakes and don't have to go through the same time consuming, because a lot of this stuff I learned through the process of building other rigs out,
right,
and knowing what works and doesn't work. So I would say I understand about 60% of what works and what doesn't. Of course,
the magnets are a good idea, but if you see to the left, where all those stickers are, that's plastic.
And so where's it gonna go? And then the door, how's it gonna plastic to this? Unless I glue magnets to the plastic, and then the magnets adhere to the magnets. So I know there's ways around it, but what is the best way? If you have any ideas, put it in the comments below. Maybe if you have a YouTube video that you found of something like that. Or my next option is to find a new tent. Although tents are really, really expensive, a couple of $100 with a little door in it.
Good night, Julie.
And cut it up and do like we did before. But I ripped those out, and they have been in here for like 3 years, and they've been through a lot. So I really don't want to reuse them. I've already thrown them away. They're
Someone
gone.
said I'm going to use my old tent like you did for my doors. That tent was simple, stupid.
It was simple, stupid.
I love that.
We might.
Where did you buy your stove? Amazon. How much was it? Like $250 on sale?
Something like that.
And hold on, Mike. You keep getting these long, drawn out answers. Okay, so RLK. Have you guys ever thought about a pop top? A pop top is definitely on our wish list, but our budget says no.
Unfortunately, at this time, I don't know of any companies that actually
Won't your pillows get dirty on the van? Those are heavy duty bungee cords, so they keep them pretty well tight.
It doesn't really
tight in there.
So
yeah, it doesn't really touch the outside of the van.
But what was the other question about the? I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You asked me a question before that.
Won't your pillows get dirty? Where'd you buy your stove? I'm gonna use the old tents.
Oh, the tent.
Screw on that.
I guess I just haven't found a tent. I did find a tent, but it was $150, and I just don't have the heart to cut up a $150 tent. So I'm gonna have to find something cheaper. But I want it to look nice. I mean, that was the whole point. This doesn't look nice when somebody's coming up to the van, then the pop top, that's what I was saying. Currently, to my knowledge, there is not a company that actually produces a pop top for the Ram Promaster City. Now, I know they make them for the Nissan and the Transits, and but not for the Ram. I've talked to a couple of companies, GTI and a place in San Diego and a place in LA. None of them have a mold yet for a pop-up or a high-top extension at all. So during this build, we did consider putting on a pop-top, but no one makes one. And I even considered maybe using a Westphalia type of top and adapting it and everything. But you're talking a month's worth of having a place where I could cut the roof out. You literally have to make a flat surface, and then it mounts and bolts in, and it's pretty time consuming, and I've never done it before. Not to say that I couldn't do it. There's a lot of things here that I've never done, but I consider myself an engineer, and if I think it through, I'm usually able to do anything I put my mind to. So putting in a pop top is something that we would really, really want to do.
Yeah. But we would also really want somebody else to do that, because someone said a pop top would be a major project. You're absolutely right. And that is a project that I think is kind of out of our hands.
It's kind of out of our hands. And I think it's out of our price range too, because Element Van Life actually spent, I want to say it was $8,000 for his pop-up. This van we only purchased for $16,000. I couldn't see putting another $8,000 into this van where it has 70,000 miles on it. I could see remodeling the inside and upgrading the components, but to put on a pop top that is half the price of the van, and I would almost want to do that in a brand spanking new van,
Kaylee
like
said,
Nate did,
cutting out the roof. No. Yeah,
exactly.
It's
a little scary. I mean, I was afraid when I put the Max Air fan in and cut a 14 by 14 hole in. I was scared when I did that until I did it, and now I've cut 10 of those Max Air fans in and the last couple of years, so now it's nothing
I
for me
do
to put
believe
one in.
Craig said, I believe Nate paid 8K for his pop top. That's true, and that was with the deal. He
That was
worked
with a
with that
deal. That's
company.
with he worked with that company. So that's a lot of money, guys. I just don't have
What's
that kind
the
of
year
cash.
of your van? Our van is a 2016 ProMaster City. How do you like it compared to the Nissan NV200 and the Ford Transit Connect? I think it's a little bit bigger than the Ford Transit Connect. Do you think it's
I
bigger?
think it's a little bit bigger. It's 38 square feet inside. I mean, everybody likes what they like.
Yeah.
I'm a Jeep guy. I've
Mhm.
always had Jeeps and motorcycles, and to me, Ram is the closest thing to a Jeep that you can get. So that's why I went with this. Not only that, if you go back to the beginning of the channel, we purchased this because we actually were in an accident. We were living in a 2015 Kia Soul that we had converted into a home. And that we were in a trip to the Keys. We were in Key West, and we were on our way back from the Keys, and someone actually totaled
Ah,
that vehicle, and that's what prompted us to buy this. We had looked in all the different options, and we purchased this for $16,000 with no money down and no trade in, and that's because the car was totaled. And our payments, I'm very free to
I
tell
travel
people.
in a converted Kia Soul. Can't imagine doing it with two people. Haha. That is very true. We were actually gracious enough that when we lived in the Kia Soul, we were more stationary. So we had a storage unit, and during the day, we would throw over bedding in there. And we didn't cook in there. We like used the school
School basically.
cafeteria to eat and stuff. So it was definitely a different time for us. We were definitely more stationary, and I think that is the only reason why we were able to do it in the Kia Soul, is because we were so stationary that we had a storage unit, so our clothes and even Sheldon's tank wasn't in the Kia, it was in the storage unit. So there were just so many things that we didn't really have in there and didn't carry with us all the time, that it kind of made it to where we could just pull out the back seats. We made a big bed in the back, and then that's where we slept.
Had a
And we had a
TV and a
fridge and a TV and a
refrigerator.
table, and that was pretty much it.
And
But
a little butane stove you could pop out on a picnic table and cook if you needed
but like
to.
I said, we were going to college pretty much 6 days a week, so we had their cafeteria to use.
Microwave, bathrooms, our Anytime Fitness
Yes.
membership. So
I will ask you to get me that battery pack
sure,
before
man.
this cuts off. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna hook up the battery pack.
All right. There we go. Wow, 187 people on.
Aw. I
Should I
thought
come over here?
wait, hold on. I'm thinking I'm losing them. Hold on. Kaylee said, if I had real money, I'd buy you guys a van or RV that you would want brand new and pay for any build changes you wanted. That is so awesome. And that just shows how well you know us, because obviously, we'll be building and changing. Roy, howdy, howdy.
But like I was saying, we were able to get this with no money down, no trade in, and we pay $300 a month for this van. And at 16.5, a bigger Ram is about 35,000, which is double. And you're gonna pay between $500 and $600 a month for a bigger van on a payment. This enables us to get into small places.
Oh no, I don't think there's battery packs on.
No, well,
Yeah.
should we just wrap it up? And I think we've been on here for a little bit. I think everybody got the point, right? And what we're the little update, and that will be live tomorrow, right?
Plus, a bigger rig can't fit in a parking garage. I just want to say that is such a good point out, because Mike and I, we live in this ProMaster City, and a lot of people ask us all the time, how do you two live in that ProMaster City? How do you make it? But anytime we do a U-turn or whip around or get up a steep hill and get in a tiny little space, we're like, how would you do this with a bigger size van? How would you do this with an RV? So, we are limited on space, but we are so mobile in our ability to travel and go places because it's so small. And that's what we really like. And like, we like to be in the city sometimes and do city boondocking, and some of them gas stations are just the smallest things you ever seen, little hole in the wall places, and to get an RV in there, it's crazy. And sometimes Mike and I are like, it's, what is it, like 100 miles, 200 miles before you see a gas station that you could fit in, not just a gas station, but one that you could fit in.
So we like our small van. Eventually, maybe one day we'll upgrade to a bigger brand.
Somebody asked, will we be going live tomorrow?
Yes, that is the plan, to go live tomorrow. If this live stream is working as good, and tomorrow the live, I'm gonna attempt it the same way. I am gonna cut about a quarter of an inch. I'm gonna be taking this out tomorrow.
We're getting a couple of what times?
I would want to say around noon, our time here in Seattle. So I'm going to be cutting out a quarter of an inch.
We'll say
here.
1 o'clock, our time, Washington.
Noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. And
Mike says noon. I'm saying more like 1.
Somewhere in there. I'm going to be cutting a quarter of an inch here. I'm going to be putting some trim on here and making the bed work tomorrow. So it's going to require a Home Depot run in the morning, spend about $50, $60 there, get some parts, come back, and we'll go live. I'll cut this out, push it back, put the plates on here. We'll put the Lagun table in, get this all squared so we'll have a place to sleep tomorrow night, and actually be able to sleep in the bed and not one of us up here and one of us down here on cushions. And then we might, if we have time, we might start on the solar, getting the batteries connected and some of the little tiny little things in here to tidy up. And then we'll start the next day on the full solar. So I'm thinking around 1 o'clock, noon, somewhere in there. That'll be about when we'll be going live, and just continuing the process and bringing you guys with us. I feel like it's so nice to have people when I have a problem and I can talk it through. So,
hi, Michelle, if you're with Jake.
Oh, cool. How's it going,
Can
guys?
you post a link to the oven? That looks amazing. We could definitely try to post a link to that oven.
Yeah, I could probably send me a message on Facebook, and on Facebook Sheldon's or Travels. Instagram, and I will send you a link to this Camp Chef stove. We don't get paid by Camp Chef, but we have used their stove, and we have used their hot water heater now for the stove for like 3 years, 3.5. The hot water heater for about 2 years now, and we love both of their products. If Camp Chef, if you're watching, you got something latest and greatest that you want me to put in here, I'd be more than willing to.
Can you show the back of the van from sitting in the front seats and looking to the rear? I will definitely do that because I think I'm running out of battery on my phone. There's my finger in front of the camera. I'm sorry, I'm moving, so that's what you'll look at for just a second. And so here's the front seats. We kind of just got it packed with stuff, but we're not changing the front. The front is what? How would you say? Stock
factory, yeah, stock.
Stock factory from factory. Blah, blah, blah. We didn't do anything but change the radio, so that's what I'm trying to say. And our radio needs an upgrade because that guy is slower than molasses. Steady cover over stove controls. Yeah, I've a safety cover over stove controls. We definitely, somebody said that somebody makes a wood block for those stove covers to set over there. So if we could get one that fits on top of there, that would be great. We are that's definitely on our wish list to
So
get
if
list.
you have that, send me a link on Facebook or Instagram. I'd really, really appreciate
Or you,
it.
if you want, just put a link. Once we cut this live, you could go back and still comment. It won't be a live chat comment, but you
Put it in
go
the
on there
comments
and
or
put the link. And we would really like to see that because that's just something that we don't know that much about. You don't want the turtle to turn over on the stove. Man, yeah, no, we definitely don't want that. But I don't think Sheldon will ever be on the counter, so
and the
that
stove
shouldn't be
is
a
actually
problem.
in here. It's actually screwed in. So I'll have to unscrew it, pull it out, cut it, put it back, screw it all back in. And that's when I'll make all the gas connections in the back and hook up the propane and
Yeah. We're definitely gonna secure that stove. That's not how it's gonna sit in there.
No.
Someone's like, you don't want it to fall over and squish, Sheldon.
no.
That would be the absolute
It won't
worst thing in
fall
the
over
world.
now anyway. It's in there. It's screwed in with screws on both sides. So
It does have some mounting brackets, but I can see how it looks a little unsafe.
yeah, and that's why we're gonna put a piece of wood right here on the front.
But
like
see how it's popping out just a little bit? That's why we're gonna cut a little bit more and really turn it back there.
Make it flush
Would
more.
turn the gas on.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I think we'll get off of here and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful night. Beautiful day here in Washington. I'm sorry if it's super hot everywhere else.
Yes, we have a sink and then we have a fridge and freezer, which is under the bed, which I'll show you. But I'm going to come over here in a mic and I think we're going to do our outro for you guys. But there is actually our fridge and freezer, and those slide outs I'm actually going to paint. So all that's going to be cream. And then the bed's going to have a front face plate. So all that white will also be cream. And I just want to say, yeah, everybody will have a great night and we'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to
like,
comment,
and subscribe.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
More content on the Patreon.
And as always, we'll see you in the next one. We are going to try to go live tomorrow at 1 o'clock, so look out for that. Hit that notification bell for the next time when we go live. And have a great night, guys, and hope to see you tomorrow.